got green lights. I'm going to check it on my PC. Yeah, but it's wrong freaking thumbnail. And the audio's coming through. Say something.
Saying something.
Okay. I just want to make sure your audio is coming through too.
Yep.
Okay. So, just gotta change that thumbnail. I worked really hard on that thumbnail. I wanted to show. Okay, we're in business. Okay, now I just need to share this all out. Oh, wow, I never knew how clicks were so annoying to listen to.
When you hear everything, yep.
I'll make this as quickly and painless as possible.
Hey,
Yes.
that front burner's hot, but the chicken's done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it just came off the stove, so it's hot.
Alright. All shared out and ready to go. Oh, I know that. Now I know what that audio is. Okay, done. Alright, hello, all you magnificent Wookiees out there. How's it going? So, today marks a historic occasion. For the first time, we're having a podcast with the man, the legend, Zombie.
Much appreciated, but you are too kind, good sir.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, we were trying to get this all sorted out. I think, what was it, like for a week? Seemed like?
Maybe even longer than that.
Yeah. But we're finally here. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, bad luck after bad luck, it seems, but yep, here we are.
Oh, yeah, like today I've had 3 days bad luck. I swear, I did not break any mirrors. My
Step
truck.
on a crack.
I might have. It just depends if it was an actual crack or somebody's crack. Which one's not as bad? I don't know. But as you guys, if you guys watched my stream, I told you guys my brake line had broken. Not due to like, hey, let's mess with somebody's truck. No, it's just old and rusted, and it finally broke. But I have not had it fixed yet, so hopefully tomorrow I'll have it fixed. that's why I was late today, because I was waiting to hear back a response from said person to fix my truck, and I guess he's knee deep in tearing apart a vehicle to fix it. But I have a plethora of topics that I thought would be appropriate for the occasion. Are you ready, Zombie?
Ready and willing.
All right, so the first one is one I've been trying not to talk about on stream. I've talked to a few people on it. Like, if you guys watched my tattoo video, I think I revealed a little bit of it. So, have you heard about the new movie of Winnie the Pooh?
I have.
So you know which one I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Winnie the Pooh goes homicidal on Christopher Robin. You bastard! You left me alone! I looked at the trailer. I swear I couldn't stop laughing because it doesn't look like it looks like something you could get drunk with and have just a blast.
I agree. When I first saw it, I thought it was like a fan film. I was like, no way, this is legitimate.
Mm-hmm. And at first, like, the first reaction I had was I can't remember, Hostel, I think it was. They all wore like these different masks, like homicidal people. I can't remember the full name. I just remember they wore like fake fat masks, like animal masks. And that's what it reminded me of at first. I'm like, oh, great. Finally, this movie gets a remake. Because it seems like everything's getting remade or remastered to wazoo.
Oh, yeah.
And then I looked at the voice, the acting. And I'm like, are they just trying too hard? Because it's like that one girl, she's like screaming, "We're all gonna die!" I'm like, well, it's a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Who lives in this one? I'm maybe not doing the justice, but if you guys watch the trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like overacting.
Yeah.
Just like acting you would laugh at just at parties.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's so bad that it's good.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Now, as a horror buff, do you think it would be a good movie? Or do you think it'd be one of those horror movies that you just kind of laugh at?
I think, honestly, it's going to be one of those movies you just laugh at, because when you take a character that is well-known like Winnie the Pooh, and we all know how Disney is about protecting their licenses and, you know, not just signing off on things left and right, although they've been kind of doing that lately. I don't think that without the involvement of Disney in some way, it's just going to be one of those laugh out loud kind of films where you can't go into it taking it seriously. You just have to watch it.
Kind of like hang on. Hey, ISO, how's it going, buddy? Kind of like what's the movie? Scary Movie. Mm-hmm. How they make fun of the horror movies that have come out, like Scream, Haunted. I still can't. I don't think I'd ever let the butler ever serve me food, though. To this day.
Oh yeah.
Like, if he had a job at like a restaurant, I'm like, no offense, dude, but can you get someone else? That nice hot waitress right there. I'll take food from her. Oh, I'm making Zombie laugh so hard he's choking on his soda.
Yep.
Oops. I better be careful.
That's okay. I've been dead before. I came back.
Right. As a werewolf. So, so I was listening to your Pies' podcast yesterday, and you guys were talking about remakes and remasters, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you... I don't know. Do you have a PS4 or PS5?
The missus has a PS4.
Okay. So, but you've heard that they remastered The Last of Us, right? Mm-hmm. For the PS5?
Yeah.
And everyone's pretty much laughing and chastising them for it because to me, there's no point in doing a remaster, because the remaster is already remastered. You can take the PS4 copy and put it on your PS5, and then the graphics are exactly the same.
Right.
But it pains me to say this because I am a PS5 owner, and I went through a I went through a gauntlet to get my PS5.
Yeah, everybody is. So I'm not
Oh no,
surprised.
like like this was back when I was getting my one of my tattoos. Is I was trying to get a PS5, and I'm no slouch when it comes to ordering things online. I'm very careful.
Hmm.
And this person said they had a PS5. It was actually probably my first clue was should have been that they were selling it low, but I'm like, hey, maybe this person's not crazy. So I went outside the Facebook, and I learned a very good lesson from this. Don't buy it online. Meet up in person.
Yeah.
um, so I went through an app called Zilly. I've never done it before, and I think she was pricing it at like $500, $600. So I had like $100, $200 left over, and I'm sitting there waiting for her to give me the shipping information, right? Because she says like, "Oh, I'm gonna get it to the. I'm gonna ship it today. I have it all packaged. I'm gonna ship it today." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I'm at my tattoo parlor getting my tattoo, and I'm like, "Hey, is it come when you're sending it? Because it's now like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The post office is gonna be closing at some point today." And nope, didn't get any response. She deleted her Facebook account.
Oh.
Yeah. There's no way of contacting her. So I did the responsible thing is I went to my bank and I told them that I was scammed. And even if nothing came of it, I thought maybe they would send this off to fraud, like the FBI or whatever deals with that stuff and get her noticed. But no, they gave me it's like they give you a loan for the money that you lost. It turns out the claim that you issued is right. You don't lose anything. You can keep it. But if it turns out that they couldn't prove the fraud, then you have to get the money back. So I ended up overdrafting my account because I had to buy food, and I had to take care of that. And finally, I was able to get my had to save up money to get the new PS5, and so finally I got my PS5. And the guy I got the PS5 from was absolutely top notch, like awesome guy. He gave me the PS5, 2 controllers, 3 video games. He shot a video of it working before we met. He asked me, "Hey, is everything all right?" I said, "Yeah, you just left your profile on there, so I deleted your profile off my console." So, but he was an awesome guy. So I share that story for one purpose is so even when he's looking at trying to get a PS5, just be careful.
Yeah.
Don't be me.
And that's pretty common even in the retro scene because you really have to know your stuff in order to avoid being scammed like that. Because I've dealt with people off Facebook Marketplace. I've dealt with people especially on what's OfferUp is another one that I used to buy a lot of lots from. And
Right.
some people really try to pull a fast one on you, and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't what you showed in the listing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I remember when I was getting my retro stuff, I was constantly messaging. I messaged immediately Zombie. I'm like, "Hey, Zombie, is this good? Does this look good?" And I end up getting a good deal out of it. And thank you for the help, bud. But yeah, it's a very scary world out there, and I say this to a lot of people. It just it shocks me that people will get so low that they'll try to put a fast one on people.
Mm-hmm.
We
We covered that in a past podcast episode where we literally saw footage thanks to someone using their cell phone capturing, a guy selling like stacks of consoles on the street. And people were just walking up to the guy throwing down hundreds of dollars just to pick one of those off and, go home with it. And I'm like, this is exactly the problem that we're dealing with, is
Mm-hmm.
people are finding a way to, grab these consoles using bots, using whatever they can. They stockpile everything, and then they just start selling them at ripped off prices, and you don't even know if they work.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing, yeah. Like I now remember it wasn't a game I was asking about. It was the NES, and the NES did work, and it still works. It's just some of the games didn't work for it.
Right.
But with the price and how many games I got for it, it was a win-win. The only thing I was really caring about was the console. I mean, that was that was the meat of the potatoes right there.
And thankfully, that's actually easy to repair nowadays. A 20, 30-year-old console that can still work flawlessly can easily be fixed by, swapping out maybe one or two components depending upon what it does when you power it up.
Well, if something goes wrong, I know the zombie to send it to.
Yep, you want your games and systems beautified. That's what I do.
Yeah, my expertise with retro consoles is just blow into the cartridge, blow into the system. If that doesn't work, grab some alcohol, put it on a Q-tip, and get it in there, and hopefully it'll work.
Yep, that's usually the best method.
Yeah.
And luckily, there's a lot of us in the gaming community that know how to do repairs or mods, so we definitely have a lot of sources when it comes to fixing whatever it is that's not working.
Oh, I know. Like when I watch some other people's streams, like or videos, they're talking about all of these retro stuff, and I'm like, what? I feel like a caveman that just discovered the hammer.
Hey, it took years and years of research for us to even be able to discover this stuff, so don't feel too bad about it.
I mean, the funniest thing is, like, my family come up to me. He's like, Ryan, I can't fix this. I don't care if you guys know my real name. How do I fix this? My TV's not working. I'm like, do I look like a cable guy? Do I look like Jim Carrey to you?
Right.
And I heard my sister, she says yes. I'm like, Jesus Christ, if I look like Jim Carrey, what am I doing with my life? Don't get me wrong, I love his movies, but I'm like, I'd be like if I looked like Jim Carrey, I'd be a chubby, fat Jim Carrey. But
you're preparing for a new role.
Yes, Eggman. Dr. Eggman. But the reason I brought that up, the PS5, is it's a really sad time for the PS5 because, they put so much time, money, and advertising into the PS5. And when the people who have the consoles don't have a lot of games to play on it. Like, I could only think of a handful of games that I have for my console. I have Valhalla, which you can get on the PS4. I have Ghost of Tsushima, you can get that on the PS4. Excuse me, that Sprite is definitely creating bubbles. I have... Well, I just picked up Solstice, which I don't know if it's just for PS5. One of the ones I've been... It's sold out at every store, damn it. I had to go to eBay to get it. The Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection. It's a $40 game, you get 13 games.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, you can't get 13 games for $40. No matter how you try it, especially with some of the titles they have on this. So I was like, wanted to go to GameStop and try to pick it up, and like, oh, we're sold out. I call them up. I'm like, oh, we're sold out. I'm like, how can you call yourselves a game store? Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers that's going to say, "Oh, GameStop is actually absolutely a garbage game store." Blah 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 XYZ. It's just easy to make fun of my times. But I know they're coming out with PS5 titles, but when you're releasing remasters, Why are you releasing a remaster of a remaster?
Exactly.
I mean, I understand. I mean, Last of Us is a popular game. They thought maybe it'd be a quick cash grab, but I think it backfired because I don't think there's too many people that actually bought. I don't know how many people actually bought the PS5 version of Last of Us. Mm-hmm. And there was a game I was trying to remember, and I finally remembered it, and I watched someone play through the whole game. It was Legacy of Kain. Excuse me. Soul Reaver. I remember trying to play it. I never beat it. And I'm like, you know what? I know that game is by now decades old. But if you're going to remaster video games, why don't you take a game that's that old and remaster it for a PS5 or a newer modern console?
Right.
Because I would personally love to play Legacy of Kain. I keep on saying Ken. Like a Ken doll. And that's just like one of the titles that sticks to my head. Like there's others like The Bouncer, like trying to remember it now, Musashi, and so many more that are out there that can easily be remastered. And I understand that people, they may not want to put the money towards it. Like right now I'm kind of a little upset that I can't stream Sly Cooper, and I finally went to the PlayStation Collection catalog. Mm-hmm. But if you can definitely remaster. I think my controller's picking up my voice and thinking I'm talking to it. But like for instance, Onimusha was remastered for the PS4, and I'm still waiting for the rest of the games. And that would be definitely a good series to remaster. And if you're worried about like, okay, well, are we going to get enough sales? Well, do kind of what they did. Tip your toes in the water a little bit. Release one game if it's a trilogy, and see how many people buy it. It's not like you have I'm not a game developer. I should put it that way. I'm not a game developer. I don't know what the criteria is for making a video game. What's everything that's involved in a video game. But I feel like the groundwork has already been laid out. You just have to try to modernize it. Hey, Josh, how's it going?
Is that my supernatural bro? Yep. Hey, Josh.
But no, that's just kind of how I feel about the remasters. I think remastering a game is good and all, but try to remaster games that have already been maybe decades old and see if they can be popular, with the new modern gamers.
Oh, 100% agree. And we've discussed that too. Is these companies are really wasting a lot of potential they have with keeping a lot of their franchises dead that are still cherished even to this day by gamers of all ages. And the unfortunate thing is that newer gamers won't ever really get to experience that unless they emulate or drop the hundreds of dollars to get physical media. Yeah. So even with our podcast last night, we were like, there's so many good franchises out there that deserve a resurrection of sorts. Stop remastering stuff that is only a couple of years old. Really look at your catalog and pick and choose and look at what fans are really wanting.
I mean, I had an idea. Like I love Mario. I grew up playing Super Mario. Like I remember playing Super Mario 3, Super Mario N64, or I think it was just called Mario 64. And with the Switch, I mean, I don't know. I've heard rumors that are coming out with a Switch Pro, but I'm probably I wouldn't buy it anyway because I'm satisfied with my Switch. But it would be awesome if they remastered DGI Fluffcast. What does that mean? What's DGI Fluffcast?
Digifluff?
Yeah, if that's a game, I've never heard of it. I'm a caveman when it comes to some of the things you guys talk about. I'm a simple Wookiee. I have a simple brain. Um, um, like I thought it'd be nice to remaster Mario 64, which would, I don't know if you can call it Mario 64 on the Switch now, but but I would love to play Mario 64 on the Switch. I think it would be nice to see what they do with the new graphics for it. I mean, I can still plug it in. I still have my N64. Like, I don't really throw away my consoles.
Wise move.
Basically, we're furry, lol. Okay, now I think I got it. Is this a Digi Fluff Gamers? I'm gonna go with Zombie's response. But the one thing I'm glad I haven't heard that they've done this in a long time. But one thing I got so irritated with was movie-based video games. Because my first video game was for the PS2 was Van Helsing, and I can tell you there was no originality in that game. You watch the movie. You can play the video game. The movie is your walkthrough. And I know that movie-based video games were like a trend, but I haven't seen too many of them because I'm not really looking for them. But hopefully it died away because, like, I would be okay if they took the basis of it. I support you whether you are or not. Well, thank you. Is if they took the movie, like, say, what's popular right now? Venom. Let's go with Venom. I love the movie, but I'd rather them make the video game based, like they take characteristics, maybe for, like, events from the movie, and then make their own game.
Yeah.
Like, have them, like, Venom and Brock in the apartment. They're bickering again. That would be something I'd be okay with. But have a new story, new antagonist coming at you.
Yeah, take what's already in the film, use it as a basis, but then, feel free to add some additional things in between.
Yeah. Otherwise, just watch the movie and then you just got your walkthrough. And to me, that just kills it.
I feel like through all the games that I've ever played and all the consoles I've ever played and owned, for sure 2 movie-based adaptations that stick out really well are The Thing, which actually serves as a sequel to the original Carpenter film and does it really well. And I would say the Warriors that Rockstar put out. It not only serves as...
I remember the Warriors. I don't remember The Thing, though.
It serves as a prequel, and then it also follows the movie of the Warriors at the same time, and it adds some really cool elements to it. So definitely would suggest those 2 for movie-based, but a lot of those, I have to admit, are not well handled at all.
No. I mean, I think I said this in my stream yesterday. No. Was it Friday? Thursday? I can't remember. My last stream. I was talking about how, there's the new game coming out in October, Arkham Knights, where Batman and Commissioner Gordon are AFK. Like, they're sipping margaritas in the Bahamas, while Gotham is, like, tearing itself apart. Batman is sitting in his cowl, and Commissioner Gordon's in his swimsuit, and he's like, looks at the TV, he's like, it's fine. We needed vacation anyway. Hey, Batman, you see that girl? You're still single, right? But I've been wanting a Superman game. Now I know that there's been 2 main Superman games I can remember, but the one I refer to that was semi decent I think it was like for the N64. Superman for the N64. or was it for the PlayStation? I can't remember. I can find out, but I just don't want to type on my keyboard so you guys don't have to hear me type away. Is they take what they did with Arkham City, the Arkham's franchise, and take that and make a Superman video game. Instead of being like dark and gloomy like it is in Arkham, they would have to change it up a little bit. But I think a Superman game would do very well, especially in these times. Including, even a Flash video game would be good too.
Mm-hmm. Give some other heroes, some spotlight for a bit.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of my viewers yesterday says, well, I think DC's on the downward spiral. And I would have to semi-agree, because I think right now out of the comic book titans, the one that is doing the better right now is Marvel. Mm-hmm. And I'd have to. The one reason I think DC is doing it, having a hard time, is with some of the more iconic superhero characters, like Batman, for instance. He has not had just one iteration. He's had several over the years. If you're going back all the way down to Adam West. After Adam West, it was Michael Keaton. And after Michael Keaton, it was like Val Kilmer. I thought was a decent... I'm not saying he was perfect, but I felt he was a decent Batman. Mm-hmm. And then we have probably the worst Batman of all time, George Clooney. I'm sorry. If there's people in the chat right now that like George Clooney as Batman, I am sorry. I feel bad for you. Because my sister, I try to find some saving grace with George Clooney, and here's the only thing I can say positively: he'd make a good Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Batman? Hell no. Mm-hmm. To me, it's like he doesn't switch off Bruce Wayne. He just suits up and he's like, another day at the office. You might as well give him a briefcase and he might as well go into Wayne Enterprises. That's what I think of Bruce. Damn, now I'm so frustrated. I can't remember the actor's name. George Clooney. There we go. Took me a second. Took me a second for my brain to what were you doing? Having a heart attack. Then after I think that it was Christian Bale. The only bad thing about Christian Bale is I think he tried too hard with the character. Because he did a great job as Bruce Wayne. But when it came to being Batman, I think he could have done more like a Michael Keaton perspective. Like Michael Keaton knew he had no deep, groggly voice that the character is personified with. So he did more like, he let the suit do the talking mostly for him.
Right.
And if you watch the movies, I think it wasn't until in the first iteration, he really didn't talk much. And then in the second movie, he still really didn't talk much, but he got a little bit more vocal throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. But he let the Batsuit mostly do all of his talking. And I thought that was very smart of him, because he knows it'd be like, how can I? It would be like, I'm trying to think of a good example. How dare you insult bad salary man? That must be like Batman's part-time substitute. I don't feel like saving Gotham today. Salary man.
Yep.
Go.
He's like, oh,
take your blue salary bill and go save Gotham. I'm busy. I'm drinking my coffee.
It's like the water cooler talk guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, saved Gotham the other day.
Exactly. Japan top DC hero.
Right?
Yeah. I'm still trying to think of a good example. Okay, it'd be like, I think I made some fun of with this because there's rumors that Daniel Radcliffe is to be cast as Wolverine. And
I remember hearing that.
And he's been squashing the rumors like, no, it's not happening. Even Sandra Bullock's like, just cast him already, give him a shot. And Daniel Radcliffe is a good actor. He's one of the few actors I give props to because he is having fun with his career. Like, you look at some of the roles he's done, he's just having fun with his career.
Yes, I would agree.
I mean, if you guys watched his... I'm pretty sure the dance has gone viral by now, but there's a scene from a TV show he does where he's a reverend. And he goes on top of the stage and wears a very... what's the polite way of saying this? Flashy. A very flashy outfit. I don't even think that accurately describes it. Singing, she'll be coming around the bend when she comes, or something like that. And you can tell he's having I watched an interview with him, and he's having fun with the role, but the interviewer is like, so that dance, would you ever go to a party or your friends around the campfire and do that dance? And he's like, no. Flat out, he's like, no. But exotic, yeah, that would probably be the best way to sum it up. I was just trying to be nice about it. Just trying to think of something other than that. So it'd be like putting Daniel Radcliffe as Rambo. You know, Rambo, even in the comics, is a really burly character, and you take Daniel Radcliffe's build and make him Rambo, it just don't work, you know? Now, I'll give you this. If Daniel Radcliffe was able to bulk up a bit, I would totally be down for giving him a chance.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see a skinny Wolverine. But, that's kind of like how I felt like with George Clooney, he just didn't fit. I think I was talking about Christian Bale. Even though he went on for 3 movies, and he did a very good job trying his hardest with playing as Batman. And then they recasted it, and I feel like they should have given him his own movie. God, I can't remember his name now. He played Daredevil. That's the number 1 role I always remember him in. Now I'm going to have to look this up. No, I'm not typing it up. I'm just looking it up on my phone. Hello, technology.
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, thank you. I think if they would have given him his own movie instead of putting him in Suicide Squad, just give him his own bona fide movie and do a true reboot, I think it would have been he would probably have gone on to have more movies. Because he did just from the scenes I've seen him in, he pulls off Batman very well. He does a very good job. Like, if I saw Ben Affleck Batman, I'd probably try running for my life. I mean, 1, he has the build for it. 2, he's able to pull it off, the voice, seamlessly. The only thing is, like, when he was in Batman vs. Superman, he was like the dumbest Batman I've ever seen. Because everything that's being pointed out to him is like, Batman should already understand this. Even Alfred is like, I don't deserve you, Affleck. No, sir, you don't. Because I'm pretty much holding your hand through the whole movie.
Right.
And then he was recasted. What's his name? Now I can't remember his name. Peterson. I think his name was Peterson. Pattinson.
Oh, yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. And at first, I'm like, great, another Batman movie. Okay. Oh. I liked how he portrayed Batman. At first, I was a little off-put by it because I was like, there's like a few scenes where he's like very emo. Like, Alfred is like, hey, you need to attend this meeting. I don't care. Leave me alone. I'm like, you don't care about your money? You use that money to buy your freaking gadgets. What would happen if his money just went out the door and he's like, Alfred, where's my money? You didn't attend any of the damn meetings. We went broke, you idiot. Matter of fact, I'm quitting. I saved up my money. I'm retiring to the Bahamas. I heard that's where the other Batman and Commissioner Gordon are going.
Yeah, I'll admit that emo haircut kind of look they gave him when he was out of the suit definitely did not suit him as as Bruce. But I will give it to him that when he is in the suit, like Keaton, he has a presence.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to say much because he can stand there and he can look intimidating, which is really surprising because he's gonna always be immortalized like as Edward Cullen from Twilight. No matter where he goes, no matter what he does.
Oh wait, that was Edward Cullen?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
I haven't. Well, I watched it, Twilight, because my sister was watching it, and she wouldn't let me watch something else. So I'm watching this, and I'm probably like the worst person to watch it with because I'm watching this and I'm like, Okay, so there's another group of vampires that are killing other people. Okay, go ahead and have that fight scene. Okay, just freaking turn it already and do whatever else to... Like, I was like, pretty much all that was the only thing. And I'm like, oh, so they're shiny, too.
Yep.
Can we make millions off their sweat? Because they look like diamonds. Like, we shine like diamonds. I'm like, thank you.
Do something with that, then.
And I was waiting for us to have a pause. I did see Josh's post. I 100% agree with you, Josh. They should have a Batman Beyond because Batman, in my personal opinion, was probably the last decent Batman animated TV show to strike the TV waves.
Well, rumor has it we are getting a Batman Beyond movie.
I would be interested.
Rumor has it, though.
I'd be interested to see who they would cast for it because we can't have a 30-some-year-old person as Batman Beyond. We have to have like someone in their 20s, maybe somewhere like 17, 18 to fit the character. Mm-hmm. Because Terry McGinnis is in high school, and his part-time job is besides school, and he falls asleep mostly through his classes because Bruce Wayne doesn't understand school is important too. Because he keeps them out like till like almost time for school, and he goes, McGinnis, what?
McGinnis.
I'm paying attention, I swear. But damn, Bruce Wayne, come on, give the kid some days off. Come on.
Never sleeps though. See?
Well,
can't have a day off.
But technically, we've seen the Batsuit being able to be animated by itself, walk around on itself, so it's not too hard for a guy as smart as Bruce Wayne. Come on, you tell me you couldn't figure out how to do that? Give the kids some day offs. So
heck, I'm surprised they're even allowed to use the toilet.
So
all the stuff they have to do.
So you're ignoring the Jin-Yu episode's epilogue then? Jin-Yu.
Oh, the Justice League Unlimited episode.
Oh, isn't that where Batman, they traveled backwards in time or forward in time and they met like Terry McGinnis met himself, and then we unraveled the mystery of how Terry McGinnis is Bruce Wayne's son. Is that?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm trying to refresh my memory on that too.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Because I know there's Justice League. I haven't seen Justice League in a long time. Not since they removed it off of Netflix. Yes, I pretty much live my entire TV life on Netflix. But,
God bless streaming.
Mm-hmm. But uh, I mean, I guess you could cast him in an adult in a way because he does become an adult. But I think it would be much better if he was a. They would keep true to the character and make him more like a teen.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone like 16, 17 years old.
I think a new face would definitely be a good choice.
Mhm.
Rumor has it Keaton wants to come back as the elderly Bruce Wayne in that
That
film.
would be
So
perfect. That would be perfect. Um, I think Michael Keaton, like I've seen him as Vulture, and he pulls. He just looks absolutely like he's having fun with that character.
mhm.
um, but it's where they go and explain that Terry is Bruce's son in a weird. Katniss did it not to Bruce Wayne. Yeah, I know that like how they explained like that was my biggest gripe with the Batman Beyond arc is that they kind of like, oh, Bruce Wayne's your father, kinda. We kind of took like his there's no easy way to say it. We took his sperm and we put it in your mom, even though you and your mom were on their honeymoon. No, that didn't happen. And I heard when I watched that, I was actually like dumbfounded. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then they like corrected that with, oh, then they have Bruce Wayne's legitimate son, who's a homicidal killer. And I'm like, you ever seen that episode of Star Trek where Patrick Stewart does a face palm?
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah, that's pretty much how I was when I heard that. I'm like, okay.
I had to go that route.
I'm just gonna go into the bathroom and wash my eyes out. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But the newer Batmans I do not like watching. Like Batman Brave and Bold was too cartoony, and they didn't get it. They went more cartoony further and further on, and I'm like, so am I watching Looney Tunes or Batman?
And then there was that incarnation called the Batman that was a little bit on the goofy side, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, hit and miss with some of the villains that they portrayed in that show.
Read the Batman comics. They explain where Damian is and why Terry is Batman. Well, Terry. That's pretty much an easy answer. Why Terry is Batman. Damian isn't. For instance, well, Terry, if I remember in the comics, actually dies because they wanted Damian to be the new Batman. But Terry was chosen by Batman. Damian wasn't. Not initially, I think. At least that's what I remember hearing. Yes, I've been waiting for this moment. A podcast. Hey, XS Useless. Yeah, we just literally got going on the podcast. I'm trying to go as long as I can because I have sadly work today and it took me so long to get this going. And we're just talking about comics, books, just about whatever pops into our cranium. As long as it's not like, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? The only other thing I have a gripe with, it's not with the actor, and I've said this before, it's not with the actor. It's with how they handled it and the writing. Is Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Mm.
And, I mean, the first time we ever see the Spider-Man is in Civil War. And I always had a lot of respect for Spider-Man as a character because it's not just like he was a superhero, but he also had a scientific background. He was as sharp as a whip, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, he catches and superhero awesome fashion. He catches Captain America's shield, and he's like, "What's up, guys?" And then he's like, Captain America and all of them are trying to explain the situation to him. He's like, "Well, that's what Mr. Stark said you would say." Hey, you can't put two and two together. And like I said, it's not Tom Holland I have a problem with. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think he has a bright future ahead of him, and he's having fun with his roles. Like even like Uncharted, I enjoyed watching him play Drake. But it was with the writing I had a problem with. It was like they didn't know what they wanted to do with the movie. They should have just done like their own movie. I think Mark Hamill, not Mark. I keep on doing it. I mean to say Mark Wahlberg. I keep on saying Mark Hamill. Mark Wahlberg, I think, was the wrong choice for the role. But I mean, they're even casting him for a Zelda show for Netflix now. But that one scene from Civil War put me off all the Spider-Man movies, and I've heard people say they're good. I just like I don't want to watch them. Like, imagine Ghostbusters first. Well, you don't have to. I mean, the first Ghostbusters movie after the original sucked. I saw trailers, and it made me never wanted to watch it. The trailers alone. I never went in the movie theaters and watched it. I watched other YouTubers talk about it, like Angry Joe, and I'm like, nope. I saved my childhood from by never watching that movie. And then the next, I think it was called Afterlife, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Right.
My sister had to pry me in front of the TV, almost nailing me to the seat to watch it. And I'm glad she did, because that was actually a phenomenal movie. I'm like, why didn't you guys do this the first time? Instead of delivering that grotesque fart joke of a Ghostbuster movie.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that surfaced after, Harold Ramis had passed away, was a lot of the developmental hell that movie was in. And going back and forth between
Ghostbusters,
Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Bill Murray, trying to get Bill Murray.
We're gonna be wrapping things up in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saddened to hear that one of the Ghostbusters passed away, but I think how they handled it in the movie, where they had a CGI version of him, was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. It was really well done. It was a great way to honor Harold Ramis for sure. There are some parts in the script that I'm going to have to go back and watch it again, even though I enjoyed the movie. I'm going to have to go back and watch it and kind of pay attention, because there were a little unanswered questions, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. There
were some. I have to go back and watch it now, because now I don't remember the parts you're talking about. I just remember the good parts. But go ahead.
In essence, I was gonna say, while I still can't bring myself to see the Ghostbusters film that came out in between, I will say that after the second film, the game that came out on the Wii and I believe PlayStation definitely serves as a great sequel to the original two. So I enjoy the first two films, the game, and Afterlife. I think those all string together really well.
I haven't played the games, but I would agree with the Afterlife. Absolutely, it was a phenomenal movie. And I heard they're coming out with another Ghostbusters movie with the same cast. I just don't know, like what the age, well, I don't think she's shot up to be like 20 years old. But I wonder, like, if I had an interesting concept for it. So you know how in the original Ghostbusters there was the secretary?
Right, Janine.
Yeah, Janine, thank you. I think it'd be cool for Bakeman to be Janine for the movie. Everyone else gets the cool jobs. Venkman gets to sit in the desk all day. And he's like, "Hello, this is Ghostbusters. How can I help you?"
Right.
Like I would not be surprised if he did like a Good Burger kind of a joke to it. He's like, "Hi, welcome to Ghostbusters, home of the Ghostbusters. How can I help you?"
Yeah, because she kind of does that in the first film where she's like annoyed, and she's like, "What do you want?"
Yeah. And Venkman finally gets a little taste of what she had to put up with. He's like, "Damn, I should have been nicer to her. I should have brought her donuts or something."
I would like to see that, honestly, because growing up watching the cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters, Janine had a couple of times where she did suit up and was a Ghostbuster with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be cool to see the live action film equivalent of that. I think that would be a really nice nod to not only the character but the cartoon as well.
Yeah. I think it wasn't in the movie. Hang on. I can smell ads if it goes through Twitch. All I hear Raid Shadow Legends. Well, that's the thing. Now I know that now that Twitch is not doing the 70-30, it's pretty much 50-50 for all the streamers now. And they're like, "Oh, we'll give you 5% more with the ads." That's what I've heard. Doesn't affect me because I really don't stream much on Twitch. I streamed on Twitch when I was streaming the first Assassin's Creed because I didn't have game catalog. It wasn't on PlayStation, so I'm like, okay, I'll have to play on Xbox, and I'm not gonna hook up my Xbox to my PC because that's almost like 30 minutes of me prepping for a stream. So I'm like, I'll just stream it on Twitch and port it over. So I mean, I've never ever really wanted to go pro Twitch. I mean, I started out on Twitch. Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon. I remember some of those episodes. I don't think I've watched all of them. Isn't that where? Wasn't that the one? That wasn't the old school one. That was the newer one, wasn't it? From WB.
This came after The Real Ghostbusters. Egon is older, still doing kind of what he's been doing with ghost research. Janine is still kind of helping him, and then he recruits his students.
Yep, I remember. I haven't watched that in a long time.
It deserves its due, honestly, and I'm glad that it's kind of piquing interest nowadays because back when it came out, a lot of people really shunned it, and I loved it. I loved watching it. It was darker. It had
kind of like a Batman vibe to it.
Yeah, it almost borderlined like PG-13 rated R kind of material. Like, there's a nod to the Hellraiser series in that show, and I'm like, yes!
Oh, that was something I wanted to bring up. As a horror aficionado, I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not good at Spanish. You heard about the new Hellraiser, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who am I talking to? How I should never ask that question.
No, it's possible for me to not hear about some things.
Well, what do you think about Pinhead being a girl?
Not against that, because in the original novel, The Hellbound Heart, the character that Pinhead is supposed to be, because he did not have a name, he didn't even have a gender, really, in the novel, was not identified as such. So I don't mind that the role go to a female lead. I think the one thing I'm kind of put off by is her makeup design.
I expected it to go with, like, the outfit to be the traditional black. And I will say this right now. When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, are they all nude? I'm like, am I watching a new trailer? And I had to stop and play. I'm like, okay, so they just switched to instead of the black leather, they just went with white leather. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But that was the first thought that came to mind when I saw them. I'm like, well, this is going to be already more horrifying because you're having cut up flesh and they're not wearing anything. Great! I'm not sleeping tonight!
Just don't play with the puzzle box. You'll be fine.
Oh, I don't have the puzzle box. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, Freak of Four, a fellow YouTuber and horror fan as well.
Oh yeah.
We were discussing that on Twitter, and the way he summed it up is, we got to get past her makeup looking like bobby pins. If we're able to do that, then we can definitely,
Well, if
you
you're
know, accept the makeup job.
say that 5 times fast. Say what 5 times fast that they're nude? I missed it. I'm so lost in that conversation now. Well, if you remember, like when they went back to a flashback, like how Pinhead began, the pins were gold or like a bronze color.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, she might be like a fresh Pinhead. We might be seeing like her first few days on the job.
Right.
But I'm not opposed to it, but I'm wondering like how it's gonna fit into this story. Like, is she gonna be like there's a fan theory that Christy became Pinhead.
That would be awesome.
There was a fan theory about it because we didn't after the second film we didn't hear. We did hear about her one more time. I stopped. I'll admit, I stopped watching Hellraiser because it became more like a psychological horror. Like you don't know what's going on versus the traditional horror. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was kind of like, okay, I'm totally lost. Next one, and it gets weirder and weirder. Where more times you go through the movies and. That was a fan theory, is that Christy became a like Pinhead's successor. Like she became the next Pinhead, while the other Pinhead, I guess, got old and decrepit, and he's like, "Well, I'm too old for this. I'm gonna go to the what's it called, the Leviathan, and just rejoin his collective again, like a Borg."
I would look forward to that. If that ends up being the big reveal in the film, I would welcome that, because in the comics, she became a Cenobite.
Mm-hmm. That's why in the movies everyone was theorizing that she's now a Cenobite, but we haven't seen that in the film. And I'd totally be down for that. Like somehow, like the original Pinhead was struck down. Like, hey, you're not doing your job anymore. You're old news, and he gets struck down by Leviathan, or however they want to write it. And we see Christy, like she's like kind of like I use the word Borg because that's the first thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about this. It's
Right.
like she's in stasis or something. Like we already have a Pinhead, we don't need another one right now. And somehow she thaws out, and she's like, "Yes, Master, how can I help you? You're the new Pinhead. Go get me souls." Because I'm too lazy to do it.
Boot her up like Master Chief.
Yep. I still make fun of Master Chief. Like on one of my streams when I was on Twitch, I was watching a cutscene, and like he was running a nuke down to Earth or something like that, and he's like almost falling up, and all of a sudden he has a knife and he stabs it into the nuke. I'm like, where the hell did you get that knife? I don't have that knife when I'm playing. Where did you get it? Did you pull it out of your ass, dude? Did you like, okay, I'm going to need a knife. I'm going to put it. I don't have any pockets. What? I got a tail. Done. I knew I packed it in the right spot for that. Of course, if like Master Chief was real, he was sitting right in front of me, I'm pretty sure he would probably punch my lights out, but you should have a bona fide place for your knife and not somewhere up your excreta.
I'm out of needle rounds and I'm out of handgun rounds. Where the hell is my knife?
Have you checked up the old pooper scooper, sir?
Ah,
there it is.
I thought that's where he put Cortana.
Oh, no wonder Cortana turned on him.
I would too.
No wonder she went crazy. That's not a knife. That's a knife. I have Crocodile Dundee's knife. Not lying. It sits very, very comfortably next to my nightstand every night, and I sleep very well knowing that it's there because I'll reenact that scene. Give me all your money, sir. Ryan, Wookie? Why aren't you giving him his money? What for? He's got a knife. That's not a knife. That a knife. Here, take my knife.
Runs.
I guess I could use it like a fork. You know?
Or like in The Simpsons, the guy pulled a spoon out.
Oh man, I remember that from Robin Hood. I'm gonna cut his heart out with a spoon. A spoon. Why a spoon, cousin? Because it's dull and it hurt more. I'm like, wait a second. You do know how much like force you're gonna have to exert on that spoon just to dig into that chest cavity, right?
It's gonna have to be sharp somewhere, or
Yeah.
you're just gonna have to use like Hulk strength to do it.
Oh, speaking of Hulk, where's a Hulk video game when we need one? Oh man, I want a Hulk game too. I want everything.
And a new Hulk movie.
Yeah, but who are gonna get to play the Hulk? I mean, how many people have you had Hulk play now? Oh god, I can't remember the first actor's name. Dr. Google.
You mean the first time he was ever played by a real person?
Yeah. Well, the first one I know was like a 1970s TV show.
Yep. My
Okay.
idol, Lou Ferrigno.
Oh man, I remember watching Lou Ferrigno in Sinbad.
Yup. Yes, he was in Sinbad. And I love when he cameos as, a character. I mean, he was in the Eric Bana Hulk, but the part was very short, and you can see him walking out with Stan Lee. In the Edward Norton film, he actually has the same role, but he talks, and it's just cool seeing him.
And you would never
stand
know
up next to Edward Norton.
And you would never know Lou Ferrigno is disabled.
Nope.
I don't know how many people in the... Well, I'm pretty sure like our community, the retro community would know, but not too many I didn't know this until my dad pointed it out when I was younger. And he's like, yeah, do you know Lou Ferrigno is deaf, right? He's like, no. And you wouldn't know that by listening to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you watch Sinbad, like, he talks perfectly. And you wouldn't know that he was deaf.
Yep. His appearance on the Mr. Rogers show, which I saw as a kid, is one of my favorites to this day because that's where I learned about it. He mentioned that to Fred Rogers. He talked about how he lost his hearing at a young age and learned how to read lips and articulate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, see, the guy can do it all. And to this day is the only person to play the Hulk without being CG'd.
He doesn't need to be CG'd.
Hell no.
He's a freaking beast, man. You just walk down to Walmart and someone, the cashier is being rude and he's like, sir, we don't have that item. Are you sure you don't have that item? Yes, we have it. I was just trying to save it for myself. Here, I'll even cut you a deal. It's now $1.99. It retailed for $4.99.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah. Eric Bana, if I'm pronouncing his name, was the Hulk in the 2008 movie, I believe.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then the Hulk 2008 was Edward Norton. Mm-hmm. And then we had the Hulk. The newest Hulk was I can't remember his name. Justice League Hulk. No, Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ruffalo.
Yep. I'm sorry, my thumbs are tired from texting. I'm typing all this up on my phone.
Who's not bad.
No.
I do like Mark Ruffalo. But I
Yeah.
really wish Edward Norton had been able to come back for the
New for
following Marvel movies.
yeah. I would definitely agree that another Hulk movie should come around. Um, but now, see, here's the thing: people keep on telling me I should watch the Infinity Wars, but in me, that was like the death of all the movies. Oh, Captain America, you're dead. Well, actually, he died of old age because he decided to stay behind in the time period. But he's like, you're dead. Oh, Iron Man, you're dead. Thor, you get fat.
Yeah, let's make you the joke character now.
Yeah. I can't say anything, and there's no way they can bring back the Black Panther with the actor passing away. Because I can't imagine anyone else playing the Black Panther. Other than, now I can't remember his actor's name. My brain is stupid. Prince. Wasn't his name like Prince?
Chadwick Boseman.
Thank you. I mean, there's Doctor Strange, but I feel like there was such a gap with Doctor Strange, and that even became weird because at the end of the first movie, he became the new Sorcerer Supreme. And then after the events of the Infinity Wars, he became just another wizard, and now Wu is now the Sorcerer Supreme. That's silence.
Yeah, they're definitely taking Doctor Strange into his darker comic book roots. So I'm actually stoked about that. I just wonder how they're going to go further after Multiverse of Madness, which was pretty good in my opinion.
I was drunk when I watched it, so I have to watch it again. That was on my last vacation. I'm like, I'm going to have fun, and I don't recommend anyone do this. I'm like, okay, Loco was pretty fun. It was pretty tasty, but they didn't have the one I wanted to drink. I drank an apple one. And I'm like, I can handle it. So I think I bought like 4 Locos. And you guys don't know, Locos are pretty tall cans of alcohol. I'm surprised they're not categorized as like heavier liquor.
They used to be.
Because I got a pretty big, like a pint-sized glass from I got it from a thrift store, but it's from a theme park place called Raptor. And I filled that thing to the brim. I'm drinking, and I get like done with one, pour another one, and I get halfway, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm gone. So I'm like, what'd be a good movie to watch while I'm drinking? Okay, I'll watch Doctor Strange. I made it through the first one, no problem. The second one, I'm pretty much gone. So I only remember just small parts of it, and I'm like, I definitely gotta watch the movie again.
I'm surprised all the imagery didn't like throw you for a loop, because I remember when I was in college and one of my professors told our class, she goes, "Word to the wise, don't ever drop acid and watch 2001: A Space Odyssey." Learn from my mistake.
I mean, I could handle like the trippy imagery on the first movie because I wasn't like on the first movie. The second movie, was like I was pretty much gone, and I'm like, yeah, what happened? Like when you have that absent part of your mind after you get sobered, and I'm like, what did I do? What did I watch? I distinctly remember I was watching Doctor Strange, the new movie, but what happened? I just remember the first 2 minutes of it. But yeah, just from where I saw and some of the clips I watched, I'm like, yeah, it was a pretty good movie, especially when he became like zombie Strange. He's like,
Yeah.
don't you need another body another strange to inhabit that universe? He's like, who says anything about it being living?
Yep.
And he forms the cape. He forms his cape out of all the dead people, like the spirits, the spirits that like you've. I think of him like what are those the death flashes? You know what I'm talking about from the TV show?
I think so.
That's what it reminded me of. Is like those guys are the ones, wraiths. I think they're called wraiths, like Speed Force wraiths or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought of. Like he's like they're trying to protect. Like you did something bad, we will punish you. And he's like, hell no, you're gonna serve me now.
Yep.
So.
Complete mastery. It was awesome. I loved it.
Drunk Wookiee, Blu-ray player, put the movie and invest your time in it. It's gone. I'm fortunate though. I actually was watching it on a app called Plex, so I didn't actually have to get up off the couch. So my Blu-ray player is safe. All right, guys. I hate to do this. We're having such a great time, but it is almost 10 o'clock. It is 6 minutes till. So, for the first podcast, I think we had a grand, awesome time. I'm happy I was able to get Zombie on it.
Pleasure's all mine. I'm so glad I could be here.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to figure out another day to do this.
Absolutely. This is more of like just getting our feet wet.
Yeah, I mean, I could have. The ironic thing is that I could have been doing this a lot earlier today, but I was waiting for the mechanic to call me, or my neighbor's cousin, who's the mechanic, call him, and he called me, and never happened. And then I'm trying to get all this all sorted out, and my laptop won't let me do it, so I had to do it all on my big PC. But we got it done, and now that we have it all set up, we won't have to play Ring Around the Rosie with the PC.
Exactly.
I'll definitely have to start thinking about some other topics. I mean, I think we did pretty damn good for the topics.
Yeah, it was a very fun roundtable discussion about a lot of various things, and we have that same level of interest and passion for some of them. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, I was talking to a coworker because I listen to this on my Spotify every day, and I'm always energized when I hear it. And he's like, "How do you get so much energy?" It's Power Rangers playing, man. I have the Power Ranger theme song. I know. I have the Power.
I'm also a big Power Rangers fan, and Josh is a fellow Kamen Rider Power Ranger fan too. This guy knows his material, so yeah, for sure. We're out there. We're still out there.
Yes.
Full-grown adult Power Ranger fans.
full nerds. For nerds.
Yep.
For nerds. Is that still the term for it? Is it geek, nerds, or?
I have no idea anymore.
Because I keep on thinking nerd, and I've had people say, "No, you're not a nerd." I'm like, "A geek? No, you're not a geek." Then what am I? Damn it!
Nerd, what is it? Yeah.
Can I call myself a Trekkie?
Sure, why not?
Wait, I mean, I do watch Star Trek, but I don't watch Star Trek Beyond Star Trek Next Generation.
Deep Space Nine was a good successor, I'll say that.
I'll have to give it a shot. Is that the one with the Borg?
The Borg are spread out, I think, though.
No, there was one with the Borg. Oh, no. It was a female girl. She was like a Borg because she had like a thing on her eye.
That is Voyager.
There we go. That's what I was saying. I remember I've seen a little bit of that one.
Yeah, that one's not bad either. I think that's where the show really kind of like was at the top, and then at that point, then it just kind of was like, the remaining shows are hit and miss. Pick your flavor.
Yeah.
Labels are meh. Yeah, but some people have to function with them, Josh.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, definitely. But it's more my fault because I mentioned Star Trek. Um, we definitely have to call it here. Definitely gonna have to figure out another time for us to do another podcast. Awesome having Zombie here. Tomorrow I will probably be doing a vlog. It probably just won't be posted for probably till later in the day because I have things I have to get done early in the morning.
Right.
Deep Space Nine was the Dominion has its big scary threat. I remember the Dominion. Wasn't that the ethereal race? One of the ethereal races, like the red guys.
Oh, I just blinked.
Yeah, he was saying Dominion. I'm like, isn't the Dominion one of the ethereal guys that was like red? I just remember that. I don't remember.
I know they were like a militia of some kind.
Yeah.
They were like a huge group.
Yeah. Tuesday we'll be going back to playing more Assassin's Creed. Hopefully we'll be getting through the rest of those. Hopefully before October, because October we're taking a big break and doing Zombie's favorite pastime is horror.
Woohoo!
Exactly. We have an awesome I have an awesome lineup already, but you have to tune in October to see what it is.
I'll be there.
Do you have any last horror words of wisdom for the chat tonight, Zombie? Like sleep with your nightlight on.
Oh no. I welcome the boogeyman. I party with them. I would say start amping yourself up for October. Start watching all the classics horror has to offer, even all the way back to the Universal monster movies. My son's getting into those because he's like addicted to blueberry cereal right now. So start watching your films now. Get the vibe ready for October because we gotta enjoy Halloween.
Sure. Me and my sister did the same thing. We nothing but retro. Although I would say one of the modern horror movies I like watching is Conjuring.
Yes. Love that series.
Although I didn't like the third one as much, though, I will admit.
Agreed. First two were great. The third one, but nonetheless, I enjoyed that whole universe for the most part.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Definitely going to be watching those soon.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And a big thank you to Zombie for joining me today. Hope you guys are all having a Wookie-tastic day. And I'll see you all on our next adventure. Until next time. Catch you later.
See you guys.